Crossrider is a SaaS business, software as a service. We focus in the internet security space, consumer cybersecurity ecosystem. Crossrider was founded not so long ago in 2011 and was profitable and cash positive since the beginning. The business was floated on the London Stock Exchange in September 2014. We raised $75 million back then. We are headquartered in the UK. We have 300 employees around the world where the main operational hubs are in Germany, in Israel, where the research and development team is based, Romania, Cyprus, and the Philippines. Our focus is very clear and straightforward. We would like to improve the digital privacy and security for consumers, individuals around the world. We are a very global business. Our biggest market is North America, that accounts for more than 40% of our overall revenues. And the UK, Germany, and the rest of Western Europe is our significant markets as well, but our revenue is coming from 164 countries around the world. When we look on the ecosystem of cybersecurity for consumers, in the last 3-4 years, we saw a shift between the main threats of cybercrime focusing enterprises or businesses going to consumers. And if we look on there and we see what's going on in the television and the other public mass media, almost every week there is an attack on consumers, on individuals. The digital privacy is a big issue. We see what's going on in Russia, in China, in America post the last elections. People aware now much more than the past about the need to have a better, good protection on their digital life. Most of us has alarms on our physical home, but if you think where is a significant threat if someone will break into our physical house or to our digital life, I think that the balance has started to be much more significant toward the digital life. The market is growing. We see the emergence of Internet of Things. The amount of devices that connected to the internet is growing exponentially. The Wi-Fi network, most of the world now connected to Wi-Fi. Where the Wi-Fi is free, it means that someone is trying to profile the user, collect data, and tools like secured Wi-Fi connection, virtual private network, is one of the basic things that everyone of us needs to have in order to have better protection. We used to, if we look to, for example, for hotels in Amsterdam, and 6 months later we are being targeted by Booking.com offering us hotels in Amsterdam. People are a little bit exhausted of companies trying to target them, remarket them additional products, and Crossrider wants to bring back the ability for the consumer to control on the amount of information he shares online, the protection on his family, the protection on his digital life, digital data. And we see the adoption of cybersecurity products for consumer rising. The market is growing very dramatically in the last 2 years, and Crossrider is a key player in this ecosystem, and obviously we're just in the beginning of the journey, and we are very confident that in the next few years we'll see a tremendous growth in the market, which Crossrider is well positioned to enjoy from the growth. Now we have 4 main software products, 2 for Reimage, the CyberGhost and the Driver Agent. Reimage, we have it's a American patent that knows to automatically fix the operating system of the user machine. We have a repository of spare parts in the cloud that compare the existing status of the operating system of the user device, and we know to replace the damaged files on the user device. We have the solution for PC and for Mac. CyberGhost is a German business that we acquired last March that developed a software as a service product mainly to the virtual private network solution across device, Android, iOS, PC, and Mac. We have 1.5 million active users, 167 1,000 paying subscribers with a very good retention rate, and we're seeing a very strong growth with CyberGhost. Reimage, I forgot to mention, we have millions, over 3.5 million active users using either the Reimage for Mac or the Reimage for PC. We started to shift from selling licenses, 12-month license, to subscription. And we started just a few months ago, and it was one of our strategic objectives for 2017 and 18 to improve the quality of earnings and bring users from buying license to subscription. And so far, it's, the process is very positive and way better than what we expected. And the fourth product, which is our smallest product, is the driver agent. We acquired the driver agent in November 2016, and it was the first time that we started to distribute on our distribution platform a product that was developed by third party. It was mainly proof of concept to us that we can expand and enhance the growth by acquiring existing products to integrate that will perform well on our distribution platform. And the main key to understand, and this is the main reason why Crossrider differentiated from a lot of other B2C cybersecurity provider, because we have a very strong digital marketing platform. Our ability to enhance the growth and perform to implement user acquisition strategies with very good retentions in a large scale is significant, and there are not too much other B2C companies around the world that knows to do this so as well as us. If some of you know the history of Crossrider started as a distribution platform for digital products focused on the internet security vertical. About 18 months ago, we shifted to be a B2C company, wanted to go up in the value chain, to become a software as a service and enjoy ourselves from this amazing engine that we own, and not just offer it to other advertisers and product owners and make some fee from them using the platform. And the shift from being a B2B marketing company to B2C cybersecurity that has millions of people paying subscription with very good retentions is a very, we are proud of the process, and we're just at the beginning of the growth. Looking forward, where Crossrider positioned in the B2C or personal security market. So first of all, the cross promotion or the growth in the market, the potential growth in CyberGhost with the growth in the virtual private network market, the acquisition. We have a very strong balance sheet from the $75 million that we raised in the IPO, plus the cash that we generate every month. We are very much positioned to identify opportunities that will help us to enhance the growth and will be synergistic to our product portfolio. And it's one of, and is a key alongside our strong organic growth, to acquire and do M&A that will help us to move faster in the strategic direction. The cross promotion is a key area. We now have 4 products. We have millions of people that use one or couple of our software tools, and we are doing a lot of work to maximize the revenue per user. This slide is very important to understand what is special in Crossrider and why we are positioned and we were able to deliver such an amazing growth in the last 18 months, and why we're just at the beginning of the journey. We are 100% digital business. We only sell B2C products through internet. We don't do, or we have very minimal OEM or B2B deals, but the main source of traffic or source of users is by implementing the user acquisition technologies and know-how that we have in Crossrider. The combination, there are 2 types of digital traffic. One is organic traffic, and the second one is acquired traffic. Organic, we have a very strong brands. Both Reimage and CyberGhost are very strong brands in our key markets. Just as an example, if we look on Alexa ranking, which is the Amazon subsidiary that ranks global websites, Reimage is positioned around 230 globally around big digital brands like ESPN, Forbes, Washington Post, which is a strong sign of our ability to take and build up strong digital presence. And the second type of traffic is user acquisition, is to know to source digital users or users that search around the web for products that or need a solution like we have, if it's the virtual private network, if it's the driver agent, the image PC repair or image for Mac, and the combination of both, and this is something that is key for Crossrider, gives us a very strong scale and ability to grow very effectively. The second stage, which is very important as well, is that once you brought the users onto your platform, you need to make sure that the distribution platform and the funnel is optimized, and to maximize the amount of people that buy the software compared to the people that came to the platform and wanted to see if they found something that is relevant or they need. And this is where Crossrider developed a lot of technology, as our retention rates are very high. We optimize, and we are one of the few companies around the world that control most of the distribution funnel, except of the online or digital payment processing, which is a regulated market that we're using a third party to process our payments. We control most of the distribution funnel, which gives us a lot of flexibility to optimize, to do a lot of A/B testing in order to improve and maximize the revenue per user. And another good example is, even with the payment processing that we use third party, most of internet companies use one or maybe two online payment processors. We use 4 or 5 in every point of time, and the reason for that we found out that different payment processors in different countries, and we, as I mentioned, we are a very global business, perform better and convert better, and we built an algorithm that can match the right payment processor to the right user based on our knowledge and the data from the history and the constant improvement and testing of the performance of the distribution platform. And lastly, is once the user acquired one of the products, we maximize the revenue. We offer them additional services. We operate 24/7 remote technician center in Manila. We offer additional products like the McAfee antivirus. And now we are shifting heavily to subscription with a very good retention rate, which gives us a very good quality of earnings. And in the last 12 months, we improved dramatically the visibility of our earnings going forward, which obviously gives us as a management a lot of confidence, and to our investors, ability to model the company and to be able to predict the performance of Crossrider going forward in better comfort level. Looking on the interim results that we announced a few weeks back, in the first half of 2017, firstly, we completed the acquisition of CyberGhost mid-March this year. The integration went very well, the business performing much better than we expected, and the synergy case, we were able to realize a lot of synergies very quickly that already included in the revenues and earnings of CyberGhost. The subscription retention rates are very high, 69%, whilst we were able to grow the user base significantly, which is a very encouraging number as well. We reached a significant milestone of having 800,000 paying customers around the world out of 5 million active users, and we started to roll out the subscription model for image. In terms of financials, revenues are up to $30.1 million in the first half. We had the increase in the segment result, which is comparable to gross profit, both in the media division and the app distribution. EBITDA is $2.9 million. On the reported level, you see a decrease, but it's mainly from historical reasons. The underlying EBITDA is growing very nicely, and this year we are on track to almost deliver more than 2 times higher underlying EBITDA compared to 2016, and the adjusted cash flow is very strong. We are the conversion between adjusted EBITDA to free cash flow is more than 90%. CyberGhost is a very good example where we can identify products that are synergistic to our existing product portfolio, and by integrating them and implementing the technologies of user acquisition and retention to the new product, we can help the target company grow much faster. CyberGhost, before we acquired them, I'm not sure if you came across the name, is one of the known brand in the virtual private network market. They only did organic traffic. They just promoted the brand. They didn't spend and didn't do any digital marketing or user acquisition activity. We identified a strong brand. As part of the due diligence, we tested the technology and the infrastructure of CyberGhost to be able to perform well and in a stable way in high volume of digital traffic. And it was all very positive. We completed the acquisition mid-March. In terms of user acquisition, just by working with them, and this is numbers from until the end of June, we report based on the calendar year. So we completed the acquisition mid-March. We saw a 30% uplift in sales of premium subscription after 4 or 5 weeks that we implemented the user acquisition strategies of Crossrider to CyberGhost. Cost synergies, we were able to reduce significantly the cost of sales of CyberGhost by enjoying from economic of scale, integrating the online payment processors that we use and the same waterfall strategy to CyberGhost. It's something that they never did, and there are very few companies that are doing it very in efficient way like Crossrider. Cross promotion, we just at the beginning. This is where we see a lot of potential. We started in the last 6 weeks to test a lot of ways to maximize and offer our software tools to the different users that we have in the user base, and obviously the recurring revenue. CyberGhost built the business from day one as a SaaS business with 100% recurring revenue. Reimage, which is one of our software tools, were based on 12 months license, and this is where the talent and the know-how of CyberGhost helped a lot the Crossrider group by enhancing the implementation and the shift between license to subscription for Reimage. In the last interim result, it was the first time that we introduced to the market and we shared with the analysts and our investors additional KPIs to help them to predict and understand better the improvement of quality of earnings. I joined the Crossrider, by the way, not so long ago, 18 months ago, and one of the first things I told to our investors that I would like to, first of all, I'm a transparent person, and we as a company would like to enable them to understand the business, the operating model, to be able to model and test and track that we deliver what we tell them. And in the last interim results, we shared a few new KPIs. The retention rate, obviously, which is 69%, which is the key metrics for us, and we would like to keep it around this level. Paying users went up from 730 to 800 by June 17. We see the premium subscription that in June it was still only CyberGhost user because Reimage we started to implement the subscription just in the second half this year. So we see a very nice growth of more than 17%, which it's from December to June. Bear in mind that we completed the acquisition around March, so the underlying growth of the premium subscription for CyberGhost is even significantly more than 17%. Deferred income for the first time of the history of Crossrider, we will start 2018 with already around $8 to $10 million of revenues booked from our existing user base, which is something new and obviously improve the quality of earnings and our ability to predict the revenues in 2018 and going forward. Adjusted operating cash flow is still here on reported numbers, so you see a decrease, but underlying numbers are significantly higher. In terms of strategic priorities, we have three main clear areas that we would like to accelerate and where we would be able to deliver additional growth. First of all, ongoing investments in research and development. We have a very strong R&D teams based in Tel Aviv and in Germany. The reimage for Mac, the reimage PC repair are products that were developed internally. CyberGhost is an example of a product that we acquired, so we would like to deploy the capital that we have either by investing and developing new products in an organic way or executing on acquisitions. We would like to have an holistic place or holistic solution for all the needs of the user for his internet security and digital privacy life. Proactive protection or antivirus are areas that we are very interested. Parental control, it's something that we would like to have in our portfolio. And lastly, the accelerate of the SaaS adoption. We did an amazing progress in 2017. 2018 will be even better. We would like to shift the mixture of or the balance of our revenues from license to subscription. In terms of financial highlights, as I mentioned, revenues in the first half of 2016 were up to $30.1 million from $28.7 million. A very strong adjusted EBITDA with underlying growth of more than 130%. Adjusted cash from operations was $2.6 million. Increase in the two core divisions in the app distribution and the media, and very strong balance sheet with $68.7 million at the end of June that is available for future investments. And as I mentioned, we are a highly cash generative business. We generate cash every month that is available for additional investment and build up the cash balance. Revenue analysis, you see that the United States is our key market. Then Germany, UK, France, Italy, Western Europe is our biggest market. We are a diversified business. We are not really dependent on any particular country, and bear in mind that we are a B2C company, so we don't have any customer that account or generates a significant amount of revenues. It's all millions of individuals, consumers that buy one of our software products. In terms of key growth areas, first of all, we have a lot of room to grow organically. We see a very nice growth for image. CyberGhost, we just at the beginning of the growth journey over there. We're developing additional products. We are reimage for Mac. It's a product that we believe can deliver significant growth for 2017 and 2018 going forward. And M&A, we're focused on, we know what type of companies will help us to grow faster. As I mentioned, proactive protection, parental control as areas that we are constantly looking to companies in the space in order to acquire them. We have a very efficient M&A process, and we have a very healthy pipeline, and it's a key part of the strategy going forward, and all the internal stakeholders and the support that we get from our key shareholders that once we find the right opportunity, we definitely want to execute. Plus, we are very cautious. We only do deals where we believe that there is a significant value to deliver to our existing shareholders. We are very responsible in the way we structure the deal. We don't like to pay top dollar unless there is a real strong synergy case behind it. And the deal with CyberGhost is a very good example. Just to summarize what we've done in the last 6 months of 2017, the visibility on future revenues and the improvement of quality of earnings is very promising. The growth of EBITDA is more than 130%. If we look on annual basis, And I was very happy to go to investors and present them the interim result, because it's the first time that the numbers started to tell the same story that we are telling to the market in the last 18 months on annual basis. And we are at the end of October. We are on track to hit the market expectation, and the underlying growth there is more than 2 times EBITDA compared to 2016. We had a very strong start to the second half of 2017, and as I mentioned, we are on track to reach the annual targets. We keep growing organically, and we have a lot of opportunities for 2018, and for us now we are in a good stage of a growing company that need to choose the right opportunity, because at the end of the day, we have limited resources and attention, that we want to make sure that we choose the right opportunity in the right time. I recognize some faces in the audience that already partner or know the story of Crossrider, so if anyone has some question, I will be very happy to answer.
I just wanted to ask about seasonality. You talk about the first half, you generated 2.9 million of EBITDA. And reading the progressive note, the forecast for the full year is 8.3.
Correct.
So that implies in the second half you make 5.4 million. Is there a seasonal bias to that?
So there is some seasonality. The media division, it's the fourth quarter of the year is by far the strongest quarter for the business. For the app distribution, there is some seasonality as well. Bear in mind that we completed the acquisition of CyberGhost just in mid-March, so we will enjoy for the full 6 months in the second half.
You're a cash-generative business, growing cash-generative business, also sitting on a large pile of cash. Is a future dividend under consideration?
At the moment, we didn't discuss in the board this dividend distribution policy. Obviously, it's something that we constantly considering. There is no decision so far, and if we'll see in the future, if it will be at the end of the year or in 2018, that it will be the best way to deliver value to our shareholders, we will might do it, but we don't have any approved, or it was never discussed in the board, and we think that we have a lot of opportunities to deploy this cash before we start to pay dividends, but it's an option.
Specifically on the CyberGhost product, what's your differentiating factor, or are you just hoping to grow as the market demand grows? Are you going to take market share from, I mean, there are quite a few other products out there.
I think that it's a combination of both. First of all, the virtual private network was a few years ago a niche, smaller product oriented to tech people. Now we see a shift following the elections in America, the concerns around digital privacy. A lot of consumers, a lot of individual people, started to use VPN solution. There are quite a few VPN providers in the market, but not only a handful amount of VPN providers actually own the tech infrastructure, and CyberGhost is one of them. One of the things that we've done before we acquired CyberGhost is to test the ability to drive high volume of digital traffic to the platform, and the reason that we are able to grow very nicely in such a short period of time is that the tech infrastructure of CyberGhost is performing very well so far.
Thanks. I had one question. You mentioned Internet of Things, IoT. Do you think that IoT is mainly useful in terms of driving concerns or worries amongst the consumer base in terms of opening up their homes and devices, creating new areas of insecurity or risk? Or are there specific products or platforms and software that you could develop or buy which would address particular IoT areas?
It's a big question, but Internet of Things is a fact, and we'll see in the next few years that the amount of devices connected to the internet will grow exponentially, and a lot of devices that every one of us has in his home will be connected to the internet. And if we look on what happened in the enterprise level, every business or enterprise has a firewall device to secure the Wi-Fi environment of the organization. When we go to our private home Wi-Fi's, most of us don't have significant protection there, and once we will see the emergence and the penetration or the growth of Internet of Things, it will be basic need to have protection to the home Wi-Fi like we now have in our professional or business life.
Thank you very much indeed, Ido.
Thank you.